The book I read is Predictive Analytics by Richard Hurley. This is the book about using predictive analytics in business. There were 10 different sections within this book. The basics of predictive analytics, how to predict future events with the help of big data, can I predict future events with data mining, predicting future events with predictive modeling, using statistics to help predict future events, bringing in data analysis into the mix to make predictions, using machine learning to make the predictions for you, how to avoid prediction traps, avoid bias, and making the best decisions, top reasons to implement predictive analytics, the top steps to help create your own predictive analysis model. So the sections that I found the most interesting were how to predict future events with the help of big data, can I predict future events with data mining, and using statistics to help predict future events. So we're going to start with the section on how to predict future events with the help of data mining, big data. He gave 4 V's and 1 C to help remember what data mining is. The first one is volume, which is basically the amount of data that you have. Big data is usually composed of large amounts of data. Velocity, and in big data, this just means that data is being collected very rapidly. Variety, which refers to having a variety of types of data that is collected, and variability, and this discusses the rate at which data is collected because different months and years can have different rates of collection. And then lastly is complexity. This just means that the data is coming from multiple different sources. Within big data, there are 3 different ways to collect data or sources of data. The first is data streaming. This is any data that can reach your IT system via web-connected devices. And then you have social media. This is going to be any data collected via social media. And lastly, you have publicly available data, which you would want to pick data specific to your industry. The author then goes on to say ways that big data is used. It is not limited to these, but these are just a few. You can find causes and failures and defects, monitor behavior of current customers and knowing how to market to them, calculate the amount of risk involved in an action or an investment, and detecting fraudulent behavior. The next section was, can I predict future events with data mining? Within data mining, or what data mining allows you to do, is sift through the data and find that it may be repetitive or chaotic, help you begin to understand the data you have and what is relevant, and speed up the amount of time it takes to make informed decisions. Within data modeling or data mining, there are 2 different types of modeling. The first is descriptive modeling, which is simply finding similarities in the data. There are a variety of different techniques within descriptive modeling. The first is clustering, which is when you group similar records together. Anomaly detection, which is when you identify outliers and decide if they are important or not. Association rule learning, which is when you compare records to past records to find relationships. And principal component analysis, which is used when you want to see if there's a relationship between variables. The second type of modeling is predictive modeling, which is used to classify future events and estimate outcomes. A few examples of predictive modeling is regression, which measures the strength of a relationship between one dependent variable and a series of independent variables. Neural networks, which is when programs are used to detect patterns in the data set and make predictions. Decision trees, this is a diagram where each branch represents a possible event. Support vector machines, this is an example of machine learning that helps you learn more about your data. The last section that I really liked was using statistics to help predict future events. There are different measures used to predict these events, and they are mean. When measuring the mean, you can use the arithmetic mean, which tells you how a specific commodity performs over a specific amount of time, or you have the geometric mean, which shows you the performance results of an investor's portfolio. A regression analysis, which can be used to determine which factors are going to influence fluctuation of the price of assets, skewness, and when it is positive, this tells you that the data is skewed to the left of the mean, and when it is negative, the data is skewed to the right of the mean. Analysis of variance, and then you have variance, which measures the distance each data point is away from the mean, which can help investors see the amount of risk they are willingly taking on from an investment. And then kurtosis, which measures if the data is light-tailed or heavy-tailed. When the data is light-tailed, this means it is less prone to outliers, and when it is heavy-tailed, it is more prone to outliers. An investment with a heavy tail can indicate high risk and high reward, whereas an investment with a light tail can indicate low risk with low reward. There are two common ways to analyze statistics: inferential statistics, which is used to be able to infer things about data, and descriptive statistics, which will be used to synopsize the data. So why I liked this book. I liked that it applied statistics to business because I'm interested in business, and it made a lot of concepts easier to understand and connect to the real world. It gave examples of concepts that were easy to understand and follow. It was straightforward and to the point. There was no information that was useless. It was just to the point, and then we moved on. And the book showed how statistics interacts with other fields such as computer science. The book discussed a lot of AI and computer programming that are used to enhance statistics. So there were some downfalls of this book. The author was not concerned about being entertaining, so the book was very dry. And I didn't particularly care that statistics was viewed solely as a calculations-based thing. I like the definition of statistics as being its own sector of study, not just an application of mathematics. I would recommend this book to anyone that's interested in business, but I'd also think it'd be a good book for high schoolers to read if they're interested in business, either to spark interest in statistics or to have them understand statistics at the application level to see examples of the things that are being discussed in the classroom.